Yo, what's good fam? Today we're going to be making some custard tarts, and it's not any custard tarts. We're going to be making something experimental today. I've always made custard tarts before, I've made it for family and friends just as a treat. Today I'm going to try and make a new flavour and hopefully it works. My first time doing it on camera and just in general, and I just hope it works. So today I'm actually going to be using tea from this place that I found online called Perfect South. They grow premium, green tea leaves and using authentic Japanese methods, so you can't go wrong with that. And I love Houjicha tea. I usually prefer it over green tea, or we'd say over matcha or green tea desserts. It's just a bit more nutty, it's a bit more earthy. To me, I just prefer it. And I just wanted to experiment with just tea leaves to make a dessert, and just to play around with it, because sometimes it can work in your flavour. So let me show you how it's done. So we're going to start by making the pastry. I've made this so many times before, I know the recipe like the back of my hand, evidently. What we want to do is we want to start off with 255 grams of flour, about maybe 1 or 2 pinches of salt, 190 millimeters of water. And this is what you do to just get the dough ready. You mix it around, you gotta kind of make sure it's all even and kind of just together, and this dough is actually really wet. It's kind of a little bit hard to work with, but once you get used to it, it's pretty fun. I actually really enjoy making this dough, and maybe one day this dough will make some dough. What we want to do is take it out of the mixing bowl and flour your surface, and then just knead it. It's a bit soft, it's a bit wet, so I'm a bit precious about it. As long as it kind of comes together and it's kind of consistent. And now what we want to do is just cover it. I just use the bowl that I mix it in, because we don't need to really use a towel or a plastic covering or anything. Just get the bowl and stir on top. It does the same thing, So after about 15 minutes, just take it off, get your bench scraper, and make sure it doesn't stick to the bench. So now what we want to do is we just want to roll it out. I actually don't really know how long or how thin I'm supposed to roll it. I kind of just do it by eye, I do it by feel. If it's too thin, it obviously isn't going to work. Or it can work, it might be better, it might have better layers. But in this case, I kind of just do it by eye, see, and by feel. And what you want to do is just get 225 grams of butter. You kind of mix it up until it's nicely melted. I sometimes throw it in the microwave for about 10 seconds just to soften it up a little bit. So what we want to do is you want to get your spatula and you just paint it on like a canvas. It's like an artwork. It's so therapeutic. It's so meditative. It makes me very calm when I make this, and that's why I really enjoy it. And that's why I put in the effort to make it. So after you put the butter on, you want to put it on about 2/3 of the dough, and then fold it. You want to fold it on the non-buttered side onto the buttered side, and then over again to overlap. And you want to do this about 3 times. Kind of just roll it out again and again, it's kind of by eye. You don't want it to be too thin or too thick. You just want nice even layers. So once again, you want to paint the bad boy onto the other bad boy to make another bad boy. And that's so simple, seriously. And I found the first time that I made it, it was pretty easy. Making this dough was one of the kind of segues to experimenting more in the kitchen. It's damn, I've always thought that this was actually a really difficult process, but it actually worked out, and it made me want to experiment more in the kitchen. So in the final step, when you have a little bit of butter left, you want to roll out your dough again. Make sure you want to get those bubbles out. I didn't really care. I'll just kind of roll it around, and you can pop it and kind of just put it back together. This is the last stage of making the dough, so you just want to roll it out and then just brushing or whatever you're doing, just smearing the butter all over that dough. And then what you want to do is pinch it and then just roll it up. Just roll it up. Just roll it up. And it should just come all together. A nice looking sausage. It's kind of the size of a small sausage roll. So now because my tray is a bit small, I'm cutting it into thirds. Sometimes you can actually just cut it in half, and that will do. You can even wrap this up at this length and find something long enough to kind of put in. It might be easier, whatever works for you. And look at that, man. 3 stripes. Adidas represent. And this is what it should look like, the pastry dough. It's a bit soft, a bit limp, a bit supple. Don't know if that's the right word. Anyway, you want to wrap it up and just chuck it in the fridge, because you want the butter to cool down, so it's just easier to work with. So the next step, man, you're going to be making your custard. And we're going to start off with the custard base. So what we want is 45 grams of flour, some salt, 370 mils of milk, and we want to heat that up as well. So what we're using, remember this? Yeah, we're using Houjicha tea leaves. and I didn't know how much to use because I couldn't really find anything out there. So I thought just use 2 tablespoons, man, you can't go wrong, right? And since we're heating the mixture up, it's gonna kind of like steep at the same time, so it's gonna extract tea flavor. Well, that's what I thought, and it, you know, like we'll see what happens. So what you want to do is kind of just constantly whisk it, just so it doesn't get stuck or it doesn't, you know, you just want to constantly just whip it up, and it'll turn into this kind of consistency. It looks a bit thick, but it's fine. You just set it aside, and in the meantime, we're gonna make our sugar mixture. So what we want to do is we want to use 150 grams of sugar, any sugar you want, and 60 grams of water. You actually don't need to mix it at all, you can just kind of leave it. I shake it up because I can't help myself. You want it to reach 100 degrees Celsius. Just at boiling point. You just want the sugar to dissolve, because you don't want no crunch in your custard, otherwise it'll be called crunch tea. Now that's a weird word. Anyway, you get your mixture, and then you want to put in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we want to put in 6 egg yolks. And then you just want to whisk it up, you know. You want to make sure the egg yolks don't cook, because we don't want scrambled egg, because that will be lumpy and nasty. So when that's all mixed up, all nice and consistent, we want to slowly pour in the sugar mixture. And then just pour it all in. And at this stage, it was so like fragrant. It smelled like tea. That's what we're trying to do anyway. So now, because there are tea leaves all in our custard, and we don't want to eat that unless you are adventurous, we want to strain it all out. And this is what it should look like, you know, a nice kind of creamy brown, not a great way to describe it, looking mixture. And then once that's all done, the tarts should be nice and cool. Your fridge would have cooled down the butter, and now you want to chop it up. I accidentally cut it in different sizes, but you know, sometimes when you have inconsistent tart looking likes, then it would sometimes it looks better, you know. So if everything's the same, it just doesn't look cool. And then what you want to do is you want to get a little bowl of water and just press down the dough like this. And people tend to make the tarts a bit thinner. See, I missed one, which kind of sucks because like it's just one. But it's kind of good because I can hold it with a mitt, you know, in that one corner. And the next thing you want to do is you want to get your mixture and just pour it in those tarts. That's really all you have to do. And then what you want to do is you want to chuck it in your preheated oven at 280 degrees Celsius. After about 12 minutes, the tart's coming out looking like this. Okay, that's a bad video because it was blurry, but this is what it should look like. Yeah, the tarts actually tasted not too bad. It comes out with this delicate Houjicha custard that you want. And it like, to me, like, you know, I want to experiment more with Houjicha. It's a great flavor, and it's very underrated.